I'm gonna see if I can. I'm gonna see if I can break up the other video into tiny chunks or whatever. So she was like, "Oh yeah, my father is rich, and we used to host parties all the time. So you're not anything special." She didn't say this to her. She was just thinking it, and that's it. So she was Katerina Ivanova was expecting a lot of people to show up. She was expecting a lot of people because she invited the whole lodgings. It's like people living in a condo and you're having a party and you invite everyone in the condo. You expect a lot of people to show up. She left the job of inviting people to Amalia, and it was very sad because not a lot of people showed up. Not a lot of people showed up at all, and the only people that showed up was like the random people that you didn't want to be bothered with. She thought like the respectable people would show up so she can show them that, oh look, my father was a very honorable man, and I'm not poor like you think I am. I'm just living in these circumstances because my husband was an idiot. That's what she just wanted to do. She just wanted to rub her former status in the face of her neighbors. And yeah. So Katerina Ivanova was so angry, and it says here, rushing to the conclusion that Amalia Ivanova must be responsible for those who were absent, she began treating her with extreme nonchalance, which the latter promptly observed and resented. So she blamed Amalia for the fact that people didn't come. So she said, it's your fault that people didn't come, so I'm angry at you because you didn't do your job. I did my job. I prepared everything, but you didn't invite people. Is basically what's going on there. And then Raskolnikov came in, and then Katerina Ivanova was very happy because, not only did he fund everything, he funded everything. That's why she was happy. And, oh, yeah, it says here, she hastened to pour out in half a whisper to Raskolnikov all her suppressed feelings and her just indignation at the failure of the dinner, introspecting da 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 da. So she told him that, oh, it's her fault over there, Amalia Ivanova's fault that people didn't come out. It's her fault that everything's not turning out well. So don't don't get pissed at me. And that's it. The people that showed up were just some random people. Like there were some Polish people, three Polish people. There was. I can't. I need. He needs to be able to hear me. Just close the door. So he just some random Polish people and some random drunk guy, and then the landlady and some other random person. They're just random people. And it says here as well, this is Katerina Ivanova talking to Raskolnikov. Do you know I gave her the most delicate instructions, so to speak, for inviting that landlady and her daughter? It indeed the utmost delicacy, the greatest nicety, but she has managed to do things that afford that conceited baggage. So she's basically just so angry. She's like, yeah, it's her fault. Not, everything isn't working out because of her. So then she's talking about Sonia, and then Sonia walks in as she's talking to Raskolnikov, and then she makes Sonia sit next to Raskolnikov, and Sonia tells her about Peter Petrovich, what he has done, and then Peter Petrovich also apologized for not being able to come. He didn't want to go anyway because he thought it was just a dinner for idiots. Basically, he didn't want to go. But then he told Sonia that to tell her mom that, oh, I can't go. I have stuff to do. He doesn't really have anything to do. And she also told the mom that Peter Petrovich and her had made arrangements to talk about some business, which I think he had made arrangements to talk about how he was going to marry her. Because remember how he was like, oh yeah, I want to marry a beautiful girl that comes from low social whatever, and she's very poor, but she's very morally upright and stuff like that. Sonia fits that qualification. And looking for important things here. Yeah. So then someone made a smart remark like, "Oh yeah, your husband was a drunk, blah 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 blah." And she was like, "My late husband certainly had that weakness, and everyone knows it, but he was a kind and honorable man who loved and respected his family." So she defended him. She didn't defend him to his face, but she'll defend him when he's dead, which I don't really understand. And okay. Okay. So Amalia, if as the dinner progressed, Amalia figured out that Katerina doesn't is not happy with her for some reason. So Katerina tries to lighten up the mood by telling a story and all that stuff. And then Katerina Ivanova is just like, just shut up, just shut up. But then Amalia didn't really get it, so she was like, oh, what have I done? Blah blah blah. And yeah, and then she at this point we can see that she's truly happy at this dinner because she gets to show that I'm not poor like everybody thinks I am. I have, hold on, there's something on the screen. Oh, wait, no, okay. She's like she gets to show people at this dinner that I'm not poor. I came from a good background. My father was a colonel and we had a lot of money. That's why she wanted to have this dinner so she can rub her status in people's faces. Keep that in mind. Um, and then she brought out her certificate of honor. I think this is a Russian thing, I'm not sure. But she had a certificate of honor, like a certificate proving that she was of nobility. And then she passed it around to each person that was present so she can further show them that, look, 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 this is what I've accomplished. You know? And, and then she talked about her plans to open a boarding school for girls who came from rich backgrounds. When she gets her pension that Peter Petrovich promised, quote, quote, to get her, she said that, okay, that's it. I'm gonna, get a pension for this and stuff. And I'm gonna open a boarding school and Sonia's gonna help me and all that good stuff. That was it. And oh yeah, and Katerina Ivanova, she got so angry with Amalia because, like I told you, she was already angry with Amalia, but then it blew up to a point where Katerina, holy cow! By the way, this chapter is long. Just prepare yourself. And yeah, and then they started talking about each other's daddies. They were like, "Oh yeah, I bet your dad was just some German cook, or probably worse." And then Amalia was like, "Oh yeah, no, my dad was rich, blah blah blah. Your dad was the idiot." And then Katerina was like, "How can my dad be the idiot? I showed you the certificate of honor, blah 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 blah." And that's it. Apparently, Amalia's father was a mayor. That's what Bürgermeister means, anyway, in German. And then at the end of the argument, right before they were about to jump at each other and start fighting, Peter Petrovich walks in and it gets exciting. So, and then she was like, she ran to him and then Katerina Ivanova ran to Peter Petrovich. Okay, I'm gonna stop here and then start.